Introducing the North African Law series. Stay tuned, so I can tell you what really happened. North African Law.
Subreddit. Country folklore. Egypt, Afrit. Something whispered my name in an empty hallway at 2 a.m. At the time 16, and this happened last year when I was in Egypt visiting extended family. One of my older cousins told me about something called an Afrit. He said it's not just a random spirit, it's tied to someone who was murdered, like their anger and pain turns into this thing that won't rest. He told me it can attach itself to places where the death happened, or even follow people connected to it. I didn't really believe it, but a few nights later we were staying in this older apartment building in Cairo. Nothing fancy, just one of those places with long, dim hallways and flickering lights. Around 2 a.m. I woke up because I heard something dragging outside in the corridor, like slow footsteps, but uneven, scrape, step, step. I thought maybe it was one of my relatives, but when I opened the door, the hallway was empty. The sound stopped immediately. As I was about to close the door, I felt this sudden cold, like the air just dropped. Then I heard a whisper right near my ear. I couldn't understand it, but it sounded angry, like someone trying to speak through clenched teeth. I slammed the door and didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning I told my cousin, and instead of joking, he got quiet. He asked me exactly where I heard it, then told me someone had died in that building years ago, not naturally. He just said, some things don't leave. I don't know if it was really an Afrit, but I've never felt the kind of presence before, and I don't want to again.
North African Law.
Subreddit. Country folklore. Libya. Desert ghouls. It knew my name in the middle of nowhere. 25, and this happened when I was traveling through Libya with some older relatives. We were driving long stretches through the desert, hours of nothing but sand and sky. One night we stopped near this remote area to rest. While we were setting up, one of the guys warned me not to wander off, joking about desert ghouls that trick lost travelers. He said they can look human at first, like someone asking for help, but they're not. They wait until you're alone, then, yeah. I didn't take it seriously, but later that night I couldn't sleep and decided to walk a bit away from the car to clear my head. It was quiet, no wind, just that heavy silence you only get in the middle of nowhere. That's when I saw someone standing a distance away. At first I thought it was one of the guys, but the more I looked, the more something felt off. The way it stood, too still. Then it called out to me, asking for help, saying it was lost. The voice sounded wrong, like it didn't quite match a real person. I took a step back, and that's when it moved, fast, but not like normal running. Almost like it glitched closer for a second before stopping again. I just turned and walked back as fast as I could without running. I didn't look back, even when I heard it call my name, which I never told anyone out there. When I got back, I told them what happened. No one laughed this time. One of the older men just said, "You're lucky you didn't answer." I stayed in the car the rest of the night. I don't know what I saw, but I'm not going into the desert alone again.
North African Law.
Subreddit. Country folklore. Morocco. Kandika. She looked perfect, until I looked down. At the time, 14, and this happened when I was staying in Morocco with a friend's family. One night after dinner, the older relatives started talking about something called Kandika. I thought it was just another story, but the way they spoke about her felt different. They said she appears as a beautiful woman to men, calm, inviting, but once you get close, she reveals what she really is, something not human. They warned me not to follow any strange woman at night, no matter what. Later that week, I was walking back from a small shop just after dark. The streets were mostly empty, just a few dim lights and distant voices. As I turned into a quieter path, I saw a woman standing ahead. She looked normal at first, actually, more than normal, like she didn't belong in that place. She just stood there, watching me. I remembered the story immediately, but part of me thought I was just being paranoid. As I got closer, she smiled and called out softly, asking where I was going. Something felt wrong. I couldn't explain it, but my chest tightened and I got this instinct to leave. I didn't answer, just kept walking past her. As I passed, I glanced down for a split second, and I swear her legs didn't look right, not like a normal person, bent in a way that didn't make sense. Then she laughed, low, almost amused. I didn't look back. I just kept walking until I reached the house. When I told my friend's uncle, he didn't brush it off. He just nodded slowly and said, "Some stories are warnings." I don't know what I saw that night, but I haven't forgotten that feeling since.
North African lore.
Subreddit. Country folklore. Sudan. Zar spirits. She looked right through me. Like I wasn't Alno. 20F. And this happened when I was visiting family in Sudan. I kept hearing people mention something called Zar, but no one explained it properly at first. Eventually one of my aunts told me it's a kind of spirit that can possess people, especially women, and make them act completely different. She said it's not always violent, but it changes your behavior, your voice, your habits, even the way you look at people. I didn't really believe it, until one night. There was this small gathering at a neighbor's house, music, clapping, people dancing. It felt normal at first, but then the mood shifted. One woman in the middle of the room started moving differently, like her body wasn't fully under her control. Her eyes looked distant, not focused on anyone. The music got louder, more intense, and people around her didn't seem scared. They were watching closely, like they expected it. She started speaking, but it didn't sound like her normal voice. Deeper, almost layered. I asked my cousin what was happening, and she just whispered, "Zar." The woman began saying things that didn't make sense to me, switching tones, laughing suddenly, then going quiet. At one point she looked straight at me, even though I was in the back, and smiled in a way that made my stomach drop. It felt like she was seeing through me. After a while, it stopped. Just like that. She sat down like nothing happened, exhausted but calm. On the way home, I asked more questions, but my aunt just said, "Some spirits don't leave easily, they have to be managed." I still don't fully understand what I saw, but it didn't feel fake. It felt like something else was there, even if I can't explain it.
North African lore.
Subreddit. Country folklore. Tunisia. Jinn of the ruins. We heard footsteps in a place with no one there. 14M, and this happened when I was in Tunisia exploring with a couple of friends. We found this abandoned place just outside a small town, half-ruined walls, broken windows, the kind of spot people usually avoid. One of the locals had warned us about jinn staying in places like that, especially ruins where no one goes anymore. Of course, we still went in. At first it just felt empty, dusty, quiet, nothing unusual. We were joking around, filming, just messing about. But the deeper we went, the heavier it felt, like the air wasn't moving. Then we started hearing small things, stones shifting, faint taps on the walls. We kept blaming each other, thinking someone was messing around. But then we all heard it at the same time. Footsteps. Not ours. Something walking in the next room over, slow, deliberate. We stopped talking, just listened. The footsteps stopped too. One of my friends called out, thinking maybe someone else was there, but there was no answer. We checked the room, completely empty. That's when things got worse. One of the doors we had passed earlier slammed shut behind us, hard. There was no wind, nothing that could have caused it. I felt this sudden chill, like something was right behind me, but when I turned, there was nothing there. We didn't stay after that. We left immediately. As we were walking away, I swear I heard whispering coming from inside the ruins, not loud, but enough to know it wasn't just my imagination. The locals later just shrugged and said, they don't like being disturbed. I don't know what was in there, but I'm not going into abandoned places like that again.
North African lore. Subreddit. Country folklore. Algeria. Acha Kandika. I saw her legs, and knew I wasn't supposed to look back. I.19M. And this happened when I was visiting family in a rural part of Algeria. One night, my cousins and I were sitting outside talking, and they started telling me about this thing called Acha Kandika. They said she looks like a beautiful woman at first, like unreal levels of beautiful, but if you follow her or let her get close, she reveals her real form. Goat legs, twisted feet, and something just wrong about her face. They said men who see her either disappear or come back completely messed up, like they've lost their minds. I laughed it off at the time, but later that night I had to walk back alone to where I was staying. It was quiet, no lights except the moon, and I swear I saw a woman standing near the trees ahead of me. She looked normal, actually more than normal. She just stood there watching me. Something felt off immediately. I remembered what they said and just kept walking without looking directly at her, but as I passed, I heard her laugh, soft at first, then kind of distorted. I didn't turn around. When I got back, my uncle asked why I looked so pale. I told him what I saw, and he didn't laugh. He just told me, "You did the right thing by not looking back." I still don't know what that was, but I don't walk alone at night there anymore.